Hey, everyone, I'm Lisa. I began, flashing a confident smile. I'm 32, running my own tech startup, and honestly, I'm feeling on top of the world right now. And why wouldn't I? My company, TechNova, was everything I had dreamed of. 5 grueling years of blood, sweat, and tears were finally paying off. We weren't just surviving, we were thriving. On the personal front, things were just as sweet. I was engaged to Mark, this adorable software engineer who had been my rock through every high and low. We were planning our wedding, and I couldn't have been more excited. Life was perfect, or so I thought. Then I met Vanessa. Mark had mentioned his sister in passing. A bit of a drifter, unemployed, nothing to worry about. But nothing could have prepared me for Hurricane Vanessa. So Lisa, Vanessa began with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Mark tells me you run your own company. That must be exciting. Her gaze was sharp, almost too interested. I nodded, feeling a mix of pride and wariness. Yeah, it's been quite the journey. We're in the tech sector, focusing on AI-driven solutions for small businesses. Fascinating. Her eyes gleamed as she leaned in. What kind of growth are you seeing? I hesitated. Mark gave me a reassuring nod, and I continued. We've seen about 200% growth in the last year. It's been wild. Vanessa's eyes widened. That's incredible. How do you manage that kind of expansion? I laughed, a little too nervously. Lots of late nights and coffee. We've got a great team though. That makes all the difference. As the conversation went on, Vanessa's questions kept coming. More probing, more personal. At first, I was flattered. It felt good to talk shop with family, but as the night dragged on, something felt off. She started asking about our investors, our profit margins, even our security protocols. Just curious, she said with a laugh that sent a chill down my spine. Never know when I might want to start my own business, right? On the morning of my wedding, I was a bundle of nerves and excitement, my mind racing with anticipation. My best friend and maid of honor, Jenny, helped me into my dress. You look stunning, Lisa, she said, smoothing out the fabric. Mark is going to lose it when he sees you. I grinned, but something in her expression made me pause. What's wrong? Jenny bit her lip. It's probably nothing, but there's some weird vibes out there. People are whispering. My stomach tightened. Whispering about what? Just stuff about TechNova. How you got your startup money. It's probably just pre-wedding jitters making people gossipy. I forced a smile, but my heart was pounding. At the reception, things got worse. Snippets of conversation floated through the air, stabbing at my chest. I heard she scammed her investors. Apparently, she stole classified info from her old job. My head spun. Where was this coming from? Then I saw her, Vanessa, standing with a group of guests, her voice loud and clear. I just think people should know the truth about Lisa's business practices, she said, her words dripping with venom. Fury surged through me. I marched over, keeping my smile tight and forced. Vanessa, can we talk? Privately? We stepped into a quiet corner, and I didn't waste a second. What the hell are you doing? I hissed. Vanessa feigned innocence, her eyes wide. Just sharing what I've heard. People have a right to know, don't they? No, I spat, barely keeping my voice steady. They don't have a right to lies. To the garbage you're spreading. Her expression hardened, her eyes narrowing to slits. Are they lies, Lisa? Or are you just mad you got caught? Before I could even respond, Mark appeared, his eyes darting between us. Everything okay? I turned to Mark, desperation flooding my voice. Mark, your sister is spreading lies about me, about TechNova. Mark's face twists with confusion. What? Vanessa, is this true? Vanessa immediately dons a hurt expression, her voice dripping with feigned concern. I'm just worried, Mark. The things Lisa told me about her business, well, they seemed shady. I didn't want to say anything, but I was scared she might be taking advantage of you. Taking advantage. My voice rises, teetering on the edge of shouting. Mark, you know me. You know how hard I've worked. Mark shifts uncomfortably, glancing around. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. Let's not make a scene. A misunderstanding. I can barely believe the words coming out of his mouth. Your sister is accusing me of fraud on our wedding day, and you're worried about making a scene. Vanessa smirks, folding her arms with smug satisfaction. See how defensive she gets. Mark? Makes you wonder what she's hiding. I'm shaking now, trembling with rage and disbelief. I'm not hiding anything. My voice cracks as I turn to Mark, pleading. Mark, please, you have to believe me. He raises his hands, trying to placate me. Look, let's just enjoy the reception. We can sort this out later. I stare at him, my heart sinking. Sort it out later? This is our wedding day, and you're letting your sister ruin it with lies. Mark sighs. Lisa, please. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Tears burn in my eyes as I look at him, my voice barely a whisper. Your sister is trying to destroy my reputation, and you're acting like it's nothing. The rest of the reception blurs around me. I force a smile for the guests, but inside I'm seething. As we leave for our honeymoon, the tension between Mark and me is palpable, hanging thick in the air. In the limo, I can't hold back any longer. We need to talk about what happened. Mark rubs his temples, looking exhausted. Can't we just enjoy our honeymoon? A cold wave washes over me, chilling me to the core. This wasn't the man I thought I married. As we drive to the airport, a realization settles over me like a lead weight. Our relationship might be in more trouble than I ever imagined. Bali's sun blazes overhead, but all I feel is the chill creeping through me. My phone won't stop buzzing. It's Jake, my business partner. The 10th call. Finally, I pick up. Lisa, thank God, we're in deep. Jake's voice is frantic. Someone's trying to take over the company. My blood turns to ice. What? How? They're exploiting the loophole in our investor contracts, the one we were going to fix next month. Lisa, they know everything. Our financials, our plans, even that patent we were keeping under wraps. I feel sick. Jake, it's Vanessa. It has to be. She must have gotten into my files when she stayed at our place before the wedding. Jake's voice trembles. Your sister-in-law? Lisa, what do we do? I glance at Mark, who's watching me with concern. My heart hardens. I'm coming home. Book me the next flight. The plane ride home is a blur of panic and planning. When I land, Jake is waiting, looking haggard and worn. We rush to the office only to walk straight into chaos. Employees are panicking, investors are calling nonstop, and in the middle of it all, I see her. Vanessa, strutting around as if she owns the place. She spots me, her lips curling into a wicked smirk. Oh, Lisa. Back so soon from your honeymoon? Don't worry, I've been taking good care of things while you were gone. Fury boils over inside me. I march up to her, my voice shaking with rage. Get out of my office, Vanessa. Now. She laughs, the sound cruel and sharp. Your office? I think you'll find that ownership of this company is up for debate. Before I can respond, I hear Mark's voice behind me, sharp and full of confusion. Lisa, what the hell is going on? I spin around to see Mark standing in the doorway, his face a mix of anger and bewilderment. Mark, what are you doing here? He glares at me, his voice low and tense. I came to talk some sense into you. Vanessa told me everything. Vanessa slides up beside him, placing a hand on his arm, her smile smug. I'm so glad you're here, Mark. Maybe you can convince Lisa to do the right thing and hand over the company peacefully. I stare at the two of them, feeling the ground crumble beneath me. My husband and his sister, united against me. In that moment, I realize I'm truly alone in this fight. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Vanessa, I know exactly what you're trying to do. It stops now. Vanessa scoffs, crossing her arms. You can't prove anything, Lisa. I meet her gaze, cold and unflinching. Maybe not yet. But I will, I say, turning to Mark, my voice steely. I can't believe you're falling for her lies. Mark looks torn, his face a mixture of guilt and confusion. Lisa, I don't know what to believe anymore. I shake my head, heart hardening. Then step back and let me handle this. I turn to Vanessa, locking eyes with her. You have 24 hours to drop this takeover attempt, or I'll bury you. Vanessa bursts out laughing, her voice dripping with disdain. Empty threats, Lisa. You've got nothing. As they leave, Jake approaches, looking anxious but determined. What's the plan, boss? I smile, the wheels in my mind already turning. We're setting a trap, Jake. I need you to create a fake business opportunity, something too good for Vanessa to resist. While Jake gets to work on our setup, I make another call. Sarah, it's Lisa. Remember when you said you owed me one? Well, I need a favor from your PI firm. Over the next week, the trap is carefully laid. Jake creates biotech innovations, a fake startup with cutting-edge medical technology that's all smoke and mirrors. Just the bait we need. Predictably, Vanessa can't resist. Over the next few days, we record her attempting to hack into biotech systems, steal proprietary information, and even bribe an employee, who is actually an undercover PI. Meanwhile, Sarah's team digs into Vanessa's past, and what they uncover is worse than I could have imagined. Finally, it's time for the showdown. I call for a family meeting. Mark, his parents, and Vanessa all gather in our living room, tension thick in the air. Mark looks at me, weary and confused. "What's this about, Lisa?" I take a deep breath, steadying myself. It's time for the truth to come out. I press play on the recordings, the room filling with Vanessa's voice as she commits her illegal activities, bribing, hacking, and scheming. Mark and his parents watch in horror, their faces drained of color. But that's not all. Vanessa, I say coldly, has a long history of fraud and identity theft. 3 states, to be exact. Vanessa jumps to her feet, her voice shaking. "You can't prove any of this." I smile, icy and confident. "Actually, I can. And so can the FBI agents waiting outside." As if on cue, there's a firm knock at the door. 2 agents enter, badges out, walking straight to Vanessa. "Vanessa Thompson, you're under arrest for multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and corporate espionage." Vanessa's face drains of all color as they cuff her. She whirls on Mark, screaming, "Mark, do something." But Mark just stares, shell-shocked, unable to move. His parents are in tears, shattered by the truth. As the agents lead Vanessa out, her screams fade into the background. I turn to Mark, my voice calm but firm. "I'm sorry it came to this, but I had to protect myself. And my company." Mark looks at me, devastated. "Lisa, I don't know what to say." I shake my head, the finality of the moment sinking in. "You don't have to say anything, but we both know this marriage is over." In the weeks that follow, everything changes. Vanessa's arrest makes headlines and more victims come forward, sharing their stories of her betrayal. TechNova's reputation is restored, stronger than ever. We expand globally, our success undeniable. As for Mark, the last I heard, he was struggling to find work. Turns out, being associated with a fraudster isn't great for your resume. And me? I'm doing just fine on my own. Better than fine, actually. I've learned a valuable lesson in business and in life. Trust your gut and always watch your back. And that's the end of my story, folks. Now I've got a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have given Mark a second chance? Or did I make the right call cutting ties completely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you would do in this situation. And if you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of revenge, betrayal, and triumph. Your support means the world to me and helps keep these real-life dramas coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.